once we're able to do those big things and we're able to overcome the fears, let me know if you guys ever come up. I probably had to restart it. So we'll see what happened. The microphone thing got messed up. So hopefully it restarted for you guys. If not, we're just going to continue on and I'll upload this recording. That's why we have a backup recording in the event that something like this happens. So anyway, regardless of what's happening today, guys, when you start to overcome these fear, when you start to have a strategy to overcoming fear, all of a sudden you start to mitigate, you start to lower the fear, you start to decrease the fear. And it's not that the fear goes away. I think the fear is always there. Your faith increases, your skill increases, so you're able to overcome even some of those limiting beliefs that you have in your life, and even some of the things that maybe even your parents subconsciously passed on to you, right? Don't do that, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that. But all of a sudden you now have a process and you have a system, you've systematized it, and you now have a way to overcome those limiting beliefs and even overcome some of your uh, that negative mindset, right? Mr. Ziegler always said that stinking thinking. And then, of course, I'm going to want to encourage you guys to take even the smallest of steps consistently and taking actions towards your goals. And then, like I said, we're going to share those stories. So listen, really fast. I hope you guys are caught up. Hopefully, you guys are seeing this. If you're not, just let me know. We'll catch the. I'll upload the recording. But when you're going to overcome fear, to take action, right? To stepping out of your comfort zone, you've got to acknowledge your fears and insecurities. You've got to be able to name it. You've got to be able to identify it, right? Because you can't hit a target you don't have, right? Mr. Ziegler always said if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. And so what I love, the story right now, the Bible study that I'm going through in the YouVersion Bible app is taking down, or no, Goliath must fall. And that's the beautiful thing about what David did. David didn't even call him by name. He said, hey, you're out of covenant, you uncircumcised Philistine, however you want to say it. But all of a sudden, what happens is he had the faith, not in himself, not in his ability, but in his God. Now, did he have ability? Yeah, he took out a lion. He took out a bear. He knew how to wield his weapon, right? He had the staff. He had all this stuff. He had the sheep that he shepherded. So there were some things that were going on in his mindset that he'd already conquered and overcame. And so this guy right here, this giant right here in front of him, who is yelling out all these kinds of things, saying, "Hey, you don't have. I'm going to feed you to." I love what David said. Hey, listen, I'm going to cut off your head. The funny thing is, David didn't even have a sword. And he's telling the giant that I'm going to cut off your. With what? How sharp is that sling? No, well, he knew that you're coming down. And a lot of times when we are facing our fears, we really have to faith our fears. Every one of us has the measure of faith inside of us. You just have to simply activate it. You just have to do it. And so don't let those fears and those insecurities hold you back. Embrace the courage and take action in spite of fear, in spite of your insecurities, in spite of those things, even though that little negative. I'm really excited about my appointment at the barber today because it's starting to tickle my ear. Anyway, for those of you that are just joining, thank you guys for coming back on here with us. We'll figure out what happened. I try to leave this set up so in the morning when I get here, I just hit play. So maybe overnight, I don't know, these little demons got into my little sound system. So anyway, appreciate you guys being on here with us. And again, the second step, right, about taking consistent actions towards your goals, baby steps, baby steps. It's just little bitty baby steps. And so break down those daunting tasks into smaller, more manageable steps to build that momentum and that confidence. That's what I love about Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University with the debt snowball. Pay off the little debts. That analytical, that logical person wants to come in and say, well, why wouldn't I pay off the debt with the highest interest? Because if it was about logic, you would have never got into debt. That's what I love what Dave Ramsey says. But that's what you have to do with your money. You have to tell it where it is. You have to, every dollar has a name, and if you don't tell your money where to go, I just did the financial spoke of the Wheel of Life yesterday for the Literacy Council, their entrepreneur program that they have down there for all these new entrepreneurs that are coming out, and we simply talked about finances and banking and mortgages and how to be, the key to they probably looked at me like that's way too basic. That's what I'm very pragmatic. I'm very, very practical. But the key to economics, right? Supply and demand, the key to being wealthy, the key to having success is to make more money than you spend. Is that too simple? I've done a lot of loans for people that made a lot of money, but they also have a lot going out. I've also made loans for people that have a little bit of money income, but they don't have a whole lot of debt because they've been able to save, they've been able to be disciplined. And that's the same thing with your time, the same thing with your faith. As long as you tell your faith where to go and you call that giant, whatever that is, whatever the circumstance you're facing, whatever the trial, whatever the situation, it doesn't matter what it is that you're confronting, whatever it is that you're going through in life, you call it by name. Hey, you have no power over me. I love what the Word of God says. It says that no weapon that forms against me will prosper. It didn't say that weapons wouldn't be formed. The weapon's gonna be formed. You just have to know and have the faith to understand that it will not prosper. It will not overtake you, right? The waters are not gonna overpass you. The fire is not gonna, you're not even gonna come out of this fire smelling like smoke, baby. Right? There's a lot of things going on, and so you have to break those down into smaller, actionable baby steps. And so once you build that momentum and you got that momentum going, all of a sudden when an obstacle comes in your way, the laws of physics come into play where an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. And when that outside force, that roadblock, that obstacle, that one limiting belief, that mindset that gets in your way and says, hey, you can't come this way, all of a sudden what happens, you've got enough momentum, enough belief, and enough faith that you, boom, you hit that joker head on and you just blast right through whatever that limiting belief, whatever that obstacle is that got in your way, guys. I'm telling you, and that's why this last one right here is so important about celebrating your success, no matter how small, because sooner or later you're going to be able to celebrate the bigger victories, guys. That's why we do what we do and use them as fuel to propel you forward, guys. So quick question, because I know I'm out of time already, and I apologize that we weren't able to get you guys the full thing, but I'll see if I can upload it later. Or shoot me your email, and I'll upload you the full video. But really, seriously, when you identify your fear, identify one fear, just one, that's been holding you back from pursuing your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. What's that one small step that you can take today in the next 5-10 minutes that's going to help you confront that fear? What you're going to find out is that that fear is not real. I mean, the perception of fear is real, but whatever it is that you've made up in your mind, right, that negative belief in your mind, it's not real. So now just rewrite the narrative and believe. I had this conversation with my daughter on the way to school. She says, I probably won't pass this test. I said, you know what, you're right. And she looked at me like, what? I was like, if you think you can't, you won't. But if you've studied, if you've put in the time and you say to yourself, I'm going to pass this test, right, God can't get out of you what you didn't put in. So I told her, as long as you studied, as long as you did what you could on your end, that's what I love about faith, right? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. As long as we have the hope to believe for whatever it is that we are needing from God, He has the ability to do the unforeseen things, the things that we can't do, right? Work as if it depends on us and believe as if it depends on God, and all of a sudden, those God-sized goals that are destined to fail without divine intervention are going to happen, guys, because of your magic of thinking big, because of your belief system, guys. So seriously, all right, and now here's the second step. Take a timer and set 10 minutes at work on a task that you've been procrastinating on. Any procrastinators in this room? Any procrastinators that watching this? yeah, right here. Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. So how does that taking action alleviate you of the fear? It does. Because once you do it and you saw that it worked, it builds your confidence up to do it again and again, and you do it afraid, even if you didn't feel like doing it, and then all of a sudden you build the confidence. And then here's the magic, right? You want to talk about magic? Again, I don't believe in magic, but I do believe there's magic in believing. So here's the thing. Once you get to that point that you can charge the gates of hell with the water pistol, Mr. Ziegler said that he was so optimistic that he would go after Moby Dick. For those new for you new guys, that was a really big fish, a really big whale. But he could go after Moby Dick in a rowboat and take the tartar sauce with them. I'm telling you guys, when your faith is big enough that you can charge the gates of hell offensively, not defensively, offensively, with the half-loaded water pistol, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what comes in your way, right? Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond. So, and then the last one, closing this thing out, reflect on one recent achievement. Again, no matter how small, and how can you celebrate your progress and use it as motivation to keep going? What is it? What is it for you? I mean, what's that one fear that you guys are going to be able to overcome and that you have overcome in the past that surprised you? That's the only time we should be looking back. Look back to see how far you've come. All right? What's that one fear that you overcame in the past, and all of a sudden, if you did it once, you can do it again. You've done hard things before. You can do it again, right? So how do you stay motivated and take action when faced with uncertainty and doubt, right? There's nothing more persistent than there's nothing. How can I say this? Expect the unexpected, and all of a sudden you're going to be able to believe for the unbelievable. And so you start to reflect on those recent achievements, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, orale, okay, orale. So let's give it another shot. Let's go. And then again, so you go in there and you share a time. Just share a time with somebody, right? Those accountability. Anybody got their accountability partner? I love the movie Toy Story, right? They have a movie buddy. If you don't have one, get one. It's an accountability partner. If you don't have one, get one. Those are so key. That's what's helped me to make the progress that I've made, not only in my mortgage business, but also in the coaching and the speaking business. And now stuff is coming. There's people commenting and sending me messengers that I'm like, who are you? How did you hear about me? They're like, Facebook. Somebody shared your post. Thank you guys for sharing these things, because it gives me an opportunity to share this motivation, this encouragement, this inspiration with other people. So listen, what did you learn from that experience that you overcame in the past? Know that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if he hasn't done it for you in the past, just the fact that he's done it for someone else, you got to know that he's no respecter of person. He'll do it for you if he did it for somebody else. You just simply have to ask. All right, guys. This has been your playground guide, Johnny Juan Ortiz with the Fun Life Community. I apologize for that technological difficulty that we had earlier, but I'm glad you guys jumped back on here. Appreciate you. I see the comments. Love you guys. Adios. Yeah, buddy. Man, I tell you what, today was a little weird how it happened. Oh man, am I still on? Yeah, I'm still on here. Am I still on here? Check this out. I got to share this with you. Here it says that we have to remind ourselves often that it's better to wear out than it is to rust out. Did y'all know that a chain, right, metal or iron cannot be destroyed, but the only way it gets destroyed is because it rusts out? It gets rusted out because of inaction, because there's no use. Guys, it's better to wear out than it is to rust out. So live your life to enjoy it. Don't waste it. Don't pass up living by thinking yourself into a hospital bed. Stop it. Stop it. It goes on to say that the thinking that guides your intelligence is much more important than how much intelligence you have. Thank God! I don't have to be as smart. I just have to do. And so in order to do, I've got to be, right? I got to be before I can do before I can have, and I can't give that which I don't have. So I'm just simply trying to give of my time, my talent, my treasures, my resources for you guys to be able to think big, to be big, to do big, to have big. Guys, B-I-G. So today, go out and think big. It's part 3 tomorrow, guys, on Thankful Thursday. We're going to be looking at a couple different things. We're going to be looking at, okay, check this out. I'll give you the key insights that we're going to be looking at. We're going to look at how to cultivate positive thoughts. That's really key. challenge those limiting beliefs, and then surrounding yourself with positivity. So, okay, guys. All right. I'm over. I'm out. Peace. Adios. For real, like this time. Bye.